Hey guys, so in the last video we covered the 10 reasons for why you should start a bubble tea business. If you've not yet watched that video, then click the link in the description below. It should send you back to this video. And in this video we're going to be continuing this journey of how is it that you start a bubble tea business. And my name's Deepak Shukla. I'm the founder at Pearl Lemon Boba. We've got a series of bubble tea shops as well as bubble tea franchisees, and I am someone who came to this niche and industry without any experience or background in bubble tea, and have since made it a success. And I want to share my insights with you as to how to ultimately run a bubble tea shop and everything that you need to know to be successful. So fundamentally, if you are interested in finding out about more with us, then feel free to contact us. Head to the description and the link below. Contact us at Pearl Lemon Boba. We've got some paid training programs. We've got obviously advice like this that's free you can access online, and plenty of materials to support you with your bubble tea business or your general food and beverage journey. So look, fundamentally, when it comes to opening a bubble tea business, then there's a couple of things I think that you need to be mindful of. So the first one is capital. So with this, I would say that you need, depending upon the location, at least £10,000, right? So £10,000, $10,000. Now to break down that capital and to break down those areas, you need to pay rent, and you need to pay staff, and you need to pay stock. And then you might need to pay for refurb, and you might need to pay for licenses, etc. So it's from £10,000 plus. I think that you can do it with more, of course, but you need at least that, depending upon rent, staff, stock, refurb, licenses. Now, of course, with some of these, if it's, for example, going to be owner operated, meaning you are going to work in the bubble tea shop, then you wouldn't need to pay yourself effectively. You could pay yourself from any profit to come from the shop. If you're going to have staff, then you need to give them a salary, and that changes your ultimately cost base. Then of course you've got rent, depending upon how your rent is structured. If you've already got an existing business and you're adding it on, maybe you don't need to pay for rent space. If you can organize a deal inside a different shop unit, the rents might be low, or you could just of course go ahead and find a unit and move in yourself. Then you've got the cost of the initial stock. The more stock you're able to buy, the better orders you can negotiate. Of course, you can contact Pearl Lemon Boba if you're looking for bubble tea suppliers as well. That's something that we can help you with in general. And then depending upon the unit and the place, there might be some setup costs, which would be the refurb, and the licenses, which would be your food and health, your food health safety license. It might be licenses in relation to a pavement license if you're going to put any chairs or put any signs outside, tables and chairs outside. Then you've also even got things such as a sound license if you're going to be playing music inside, and so on and so forth. So there's the capital element of the cost. The second thing is really you need to be mindful of location. So location, do you have, for example, a Asian demographic in the area? It's less relevant now, but it has come out of Asia and a strong root within the Asian community, but it's something to be mindful of. It's still newer in other ethnic communities. So location is important, but location also in terms of thinking of schools, because the target demographic often for bubble tea, it is a sugary drink. Then you're going to be looking at a younger demographic in general. So we're looking at the 7 to 21 years old market, let's say. You do of course get people that skew on either side, more heavily on the higher side, but schools is going to be important. So schools and colleges are going to be important. So schools and colleges, and then just the usual things that you'd expect from location, which is main road, presence of competition, and other bits and pieces that relate to location. So that's the other element of it. So you've got capital, you've got the location, then you've got the actual stock, or rather, let's go back a step, let's call it the equipment. So you're going to need things, and we will, in our paid program, we do provide a list of items that you need, but potentially you can have a fructose machine, so a fructose maker. You can have a shaker for the shaking. You could have a plastic lid sealer to seal the plastics, and fundamentally you want then also a hot water vat. And you've got really the fundamentals of what it is that you need: a fructose machine for making fructose, or you can have fructose that you buy separately, shakers for ultimately getting rid of the manual shaking that comes with mixing the drink. You'll need a plastic lid sealer if you're going to be ultimately putting your drinks into plastic cups. typically you are, or even bamboo cups typically you are, but you need something to seal the top. You need hot water to dispense hot water for the tea to help it mix appropriately, but a vat basically for water, and then you need an ice maker or even ice cube, so you don't necessarily even need an ice maker. So these are the things that you need from an equipment perspective to be able to start your bubble tea business once you've got your equipment, okay? The next things that you need to consider, of course, are stock in relation to the menu, okay? So stock, you have your fruit teas, fruit tea flavors, you've got your milk tea flavors, and again, when it comes to bubble tea, I'd assume that you know a little bit about ultimately the types of products or types of menu items, having tried bubble tea yourself potentially. If you haven't, go to a bubble tea shop, look at bubble tea menus online, look at the Pearl Lemon Boba menu itself, and you can look at some of the most popular ultimately drinks they are, and in terms of deciding and determining menu, you'd also have a look at local competition, have a look at what's popular in the area, have a look at what's popular within bubble tea, and make decisions accordingly. But much in a way, like for example coffee, perhaps less so, but you'll have a standard set menu when it comes to fundamentally your taros, your vanilla milk, your cookies and cream when it comes to the milk side. And then on the fruit side, you can have strawberry, blueberry, mango, dragon fruit, and honeydew, and so on and so forth to build your range of flavors. And again, it will change depending upon demographic, but I would always recommend just look at local competition, have a look at what is popular on menus, have a look at local ultimately areas from a Deliveroo perspective or Uber Eats perspective, and then you'll get a sense of it. So ordering in your stock is going to be important. Then of course, when it comes to the other element is marketing. So when it comes to marketing, you need to, and this is where I'd recommend doing some of these elements, flyering locally, and then you could do local news announcements, you could run ads, you could list on delivery platforms. So these would be the fundamentals that come when it relates to bubble tea, and you can see how there's a lot of crossover with these elements fundamentally, and ultimately any element that relates to opening up a food and beverage business. But these are the five areas of fundamentals. We'll go on and record, and I'll put together a final video about how to open a bubble tea business to lead it towards success in 2023 and 2024. But fundamentally, these are the things that are important when it comes to opening up a bubble tea business. And if you want to find out about our advanced training programs, feel free to get in touch with us. We've got ultimately a lot more information that we do share, but this is a really good place to get started in opening up your bubble tea business.